to take you on Needles Highway today. Now, Needles Highway is about 14 miles long. We're not on it yet. I did stop and pay there because the Needles Highway itself is in Custer State Park, and you have to pay to get into the park. You're not paying to drive. You're paying to be in the park. But anyway, that's just a little thing to know. I think there's a ranger station at the other end too, but I don't remember noticing it. So I talked to the ranger there a little bit, gotten some ideas. Totally missed the most famous thing about Needles Highway, but it is what it is. This highway, Needles Highway, was actually constructed in 1922. That Peter Nobrick I keep mentioning, he was the governor back then. It's supposed to be impossible to construct, but it's not. It's called Needles Highway because of these granite spires, and you will see what I mean. And definitely you'll see this is an hour video. This is an hour drive for 14 miles. You go slow on this. You may feel the urge to go fast. That won't last long. So yeah, just go slow and enjoy it. So that's what I plan to do here, is just go slowly. Now, part of this is the Wildlife Loop Road. I don't know why it's called the Wildlife Loop Road, but apparently that's what we're on. This part, I guess, is better, well, when there's wildlife out, which would be in the evening or the morning, not middle of the afternoon. And when I'm talking about going slowly, that does bring up a good point about travel. This day was all about a scouting trip. Now, I did get out of the car. I did do a hike, a short hike, but a hike nonetheless, and, things like that. But I didn't really explore anything in depth. And if you really want to travel and really get a feel for a place, there's something to be said for these, 10 countries in 10 days tours. You get to really scout and say, okay, this is what's there. Now, next time I want to spend my whole 10 days in this one spot or these two spots and really find out what it has to offer. I could spend a few weeks down here in the Black Hills really exploring. A Spearfish Canyon could be at least a day, maybe 2 days. There's several hikes there. There's three waterfalls. One, though, it's right there along the road. But Rough Lock Falls is a nice hike back. You saw Spearfish Canyon Fall. No, what was it called? Spearfish Creek Falls. There's a Bridal Veil Falls right along the road. There's several hikes in Spearfish Canyon. Some people actually will go biking in Spearfish Canyon. I'm thinking I would rather have somebody drop me off at one end and just bike downhill the whole way, but that's me. There's just lots of things to explore. I think I could spend a day in Lead all by itself. I know I could spend a day in Spearfish all by itself. I've done that. Lead, it's got the mine there. There's the downtown is really cool. There's just a lot there. Deadwood, I don't gamble, but I would like to spend a day there just exploring it. That's not high on my list. This here, though, this hiking in nature, I think that would be fun. So, anyway, I just listed a whole bunch of tours, and, with the point I was trying to make, and I totally forgot it while I started thinking about these things I want to do, is this. If you go fast, you miss a lot of the cool stuff. So yeah, sitting in the car here, this is an impressive drive. And yes, this road is meant to be toured from a car. That's why it's a road. I forgot to turn off my sound. But there's a lot more there if you just get out of your car. There's a lot of activities. There's a playhouse here. Canoeing, which I haven't done in years. This apparently is, well, maybe not quite this, but really close to this. There's a art festival thing right near here. I was trying to look up more information on it, but I couldn't find it. But that's why you're going to see a lot of cars. and cars parked along the road, cars trying to get into parking lots, and so on. That is right there. That's, what is it called? The State Game Lodge. Two presidents have stayed there, Calvin Coolidge and Dwight Eisenhower. Apparently it's a nice place. I've never been in it. This was all new for me. Yeah, here we go. Here's the art thing. I don't really know much about this. I know that this kind of crowd makes me nervous driving, but yeah, I guess I could have left my car there and explored. But like I said, I was on a timeline, and yeah, here's another cool thing I missed out on because I had to hit this, and this. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say is take your time and explore something in depth. Of course, you have to do this kind of trip too sometimes. Do a scouting trip so you know what you're missing. And, yeah, this, I think, is one of those things I'm going to come back for next year. Because what I understand is it's a once-a-year thing, but I'm not 100% sure. I actually took a break from my narration earlier trying to research that, but without knowing what it's called, I was having a little trouble and gave up. But anyway, just totally worth exploring a place. If you visit my little town, you could buzz through it in your car. You wouldn't see a single thing worth seeing except maybe the buttes. Everything in this town you have to get off the highway and actually explore. The coolest things in this town, honestly, you can't get to by car. You have to walk to. So, yeah, and I've heard that, you go, well, these 10 countries in 10 days, they're going to take you to the absolute tourist hotspots. Usually those are European tours, which is not an attack on Europe. It's just the countries are small there. So you'll probably hit Paris, France, and go see, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower or something. Then you go to Italy, and you'll either hit Rome or Venice, but I think it would be difficult to hit both. I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know. Maybe it is possible. But you just run. You never get to explore. I like to get out and walk a town. That's how I know I like Spearfish so well, is that I've walked it. I don't remember what these buildings are here. One looks like a house. I know there's a couple stores around here, so people traveling in the area can pick up basic supplies. So that could be what that was. I don't really know. So I guess this is my long way of saying, get out and explore when you visit an area. Don't try to see how many things you can see. Instead, slow down. Maybe walk it if you can. Now again, this is not something to walk. Lead or Deadwood, on the other hand, would be something to walk. In fact, I keep doing these driving videos. They have a very limited audience. They're kind of good as something to run while you're doing something else. You get some eye candy. You get to listen to me babble, and I don't go all crazy and ballistic in these. But, and you don't have to keep running back to your computer to put on a different video. You can just run it. But I'd also like to do some more in-depth explorations of specific spots. Maybe redo Needles Highway as a video, but hike and just show the highlights of Needles Highway, the highlights of the hikes, kind of like I did the highlights of my hike down into Spearfish Falls, maybe even fewer highlights than that, or more meaningful ones. This drive might have been fun if I'd started out early in the morning and stopped at all. I actually did start from my house fairly early in the morning, but you saw I dawdled. But anyway, I think that might be kind of fun, and especially if I have it all researched ahead of time, and then I can maybe stand at the Needle, which that's something I totally missed on Needles Highway this trip, and talk about it, and talk about oh, this tunnel here is 8 feet 4 inches wide, and give some details and right on the spot. I think that would be fun. Now I have to get over my whole I'm self-conscious talking to my iPad thing. Maybe I need a partner in crime so I look like I'm an official video maker person. Whatever. Anyway, I something to think about for me. I'll just add here, I've mentioned this several times in other videos. Would you believe you're in one of the Dakotas right now? It sure doesn't look like a Dakota, does it? The stereotype of the Dakotas is flat, barren, cold wastelands, and even the parts that are flat aren't exactly barren wastelands, so get out here and visit the Dakotas. When I talk about visiting places, yes, this is a more popular destination, but get off the beaten path and get out there. Guess where the parking garages are? Not to see spearfish, not for Hill City, not for Needles Highway. The parking garage is at Mount Rushmore. And it amazes me that people will go to Mount Rushmore and not see anything else in the Black Hills. It's just like, what was the point? Spend a few days here. And, go to local establishments. If you see an Olive Garden, for example, don't go there. Find a local eatery that's maybe off the beaten path. Latch String Inn was right on the beaten path in Spearfish Canyon, but guess what? If you want to eat in Spearfish Canyon, you go to the Latch String Inn because you don't have a choice. So I'll make allowances for that one. And it's good food. But go to where the local people are. Some towns you will find that there's just nowhere decent to eat. Especially some of these really small towns. But yeah. And here's another suggestion. I know I'm in a car. It's really tempting to fill up the car. Because you're not carrying it with you. It's just sitting in your car. It's in your trunk. Or, if you have a station wagon or a minivan, maybe it's hanging out in the back. But I would suggest pack light. Don't take a bunch of stuff with you. Because if you're traveling, shouldn't the point be to travel and enjoy the place you're at? Rather than the things you brought from home because you can't live without them. I don't bring my case of fountain pens with me. I do bring a fountain pen with me. On this particular trip, I had a Kaveco Sport sitting in my pocket, my pants pocket. And I did have my bullet journal with me because I write a lot of stuff in it. And I wrote down some notes about places I want to come back to and explore. That's kind of the whole point of that. It's small, it's easy to carry, and that is really inspiring me. I've got to do my video about that. Maybe today, who knows? It's snowing outside. We're looking like we might get as much as 10 inches, which may possibly mean no school tomorrow, which, we've had that whole Christmas break thing, but my God, would that be kind of fun to have another day off. I know we have to make it up later in the year, but I'm just really enjoying the snow. So, yeah. Anyway, a few years ago, I would have advised you to bring a book with you. Nowadays, you can bring your electronics. I don't carry books with me usually anymore. If I go in anywhere, I take my iPad usually. I used to bring my Kindle, but that died. And much as I like reading off of a Kindle screen over an iPad screen, iPad is definitely a lot more versatile. I'm doing video with the iPad in the midst of this, and you can't do that with a Kindle. I guess the electronic one, or not the electronic ones, the color ones you can, but, so less devices is better, basically. Less devices are better. I have to ask an English teacher how to construct that sentence because I don't know. Um, anyway, just get out and enjoy and explore and don't bring a lot of stuff. If you're walking, you're really going to be sorry if you bring a lot of stuff. If you're staying at a motel, you shouldn't have to take 2 trips out to your car to get everything, or 3 trips. I learned that, and I realized that, hey, I don't use most of it. Now, on this trip, I brought my good camera. If I were to fly somewhere, I probably wouldn't bring my good camera. I'd just bring something smaller. And I still want to take pictures and stuff, but I don't want all my lenses and stuff. I don't want to haul them all over. I don't want to be like, oh, what lens shall I use? But since I am in a car, that's a luxury I allowed myself. You might have to decide, do you want to bring your laptop? If it's a longer trip of many days, you might. If it's a short day trip, of course, my laptop isn't exactly portable right now because the battery's dead and the screen is... The screen was actually going to go down to Rapid City over this break and get fixed, but guess what? Because of the weather, it hasn't gone anywhere. All right, we're turning here onto Needles Highway. Now, I do pull off here at the ranger station. Mostly, I was just getting an idea of, from the map, oh, I wonder if there's an outhouse around here somewhere. Because there was nobody at this ranger station. And the truth be known, I also let 4 cars go past me because I darn well planned to go slow on this road and really enjoy it, and most people don't want to go slow. You saw a motorcycle pass me back on Iron Mountain Highway, and so I just let them go around me. I see my neighbors out trying to shovel, but as the snow comes down, I'm just thinking, why bother? Once it's done, I'll go out and shovel. I may go clean out in front of my door, but that's it. Anyway, I just want to take it slow. So I think I was talking about packing light. If you're traveling, how many clothes do you really need? Don't bring a lot of clothes. Don't bring a lot of toiletries. If you absolutely need something, in most places you can buy it. If you come as a tourist to my little town and you don't have toothpaste, or you just destroyed your pair of jeans on a doorway, well, I've done that. You can buy a new pair of jeans here. Now, if you destroy your fountain pen, you're out of luck. But your essentials, your travel essentials, you're fine. So, don't worry about it if you forget something. Like I said, the less you carry, the better. And you probably won't end up using it anyway. When I fly, I try and fit everything into one bag. And my challenge the next time I fly is going to be to fit it into an even smaller bag, because I'd like to use just carry-on luggage, so it's got to be small. And I don't want to be the guy that's trying to stuff a giant suitcase into the overhead. I want to be, the backpack guy. And there's probably a laundromat somewhere around where you're going. Worst case scenario, you use some soap in the sink and air dry it, So, and I sound like I've done lots of traveling. I really haven't traveled as much as I'd like. Part of what limits me is I get nervous about my car. Part of it is it does cost money to travel, and I don't know. So I've been setting aside more money this past year toward that. For sure, I'll be flying home to Pennsylvania sometime this summer to visit my parents, and I plan a road trip while I'm there to go up to Vermont and visit my brother. And when I say road trip, I mean part of that trip is going to be for me. Not just to visit my brother or my parents. It's going to be to do me things, to entertain me. See things that me wants to... Wow, okay, that sounded like Cookie Monster there. To see things that I want to see. And do things I want to do. So I, just relax and enjoy it. And of course, I'll be in a timeline because if I'm flying, your flights are pretty like cut and dry, like you be here now and that's that. But in between that, do my own thing and just relax and enjoy it. This was kind of on a timeline because of that whole daylight thing. I'm not good at driving at night. I have some eye problems, so I can do it. I just don't like to, especially on roads I don't know. Especially roads like this that I don't know. So I kept it tight. I probably, as it turns out, I could have delayed a little bit more than I did and dawdled and explored some things more, but I always like to give myself a margin for error, so it's a good thing that I did. As it turned out, I did get home kind of late, and I'm not into late, so yeah. There's always next time. It's not far away. So I think I told you that Needles Highway is a Peter Norbeck thing. He was told this could not be done, but beginning 1922, he built it. Right here, this is not difficult territory. This is, you have to go around a few rocks like that one right there, but nothing really horrible here. As we go on, though, it gets a little more interesting. You'll see granite spires. That's what actually gives us the name Needles Highway. There's one that looks like a sewing needle, which I think I mentioned already. It was eroded by wind. I totally forgot it. Needles Highway, there's the needle, and I totally forgot about it, but I was so excited about this tunnel and all the views I just had that, the one rock just like, whoops! But I think, excuse me, you can see it's getting a little twistier as I climb. I can't remember if I saw many bikers. I think this would be challenging to bike just because of the hills, but for somebody who's into biking, maybe. I think honestly I would be more nervous about the downhill part of this as a biker than the uphill part, because some of it is very steep, and of course you've got these tunnels that are one lane tunnels and you're meeting traffic, and are they going to see you as a biker? And it's not like you can get over to the side because they're so narrow. So I don't know. I don't. That's something to explore, I guess, whether this is a big biking area. I know a lot more people bike Spearfish Canyon because it's a lot flatter. But anyway, I think I ran my whole tourism thing dead, didn't I? What about photographs? Well, I do have a few more things with tourism, so maybe I will be able to talk longer on that. As far as photographs, I like to take photographs. I'm big on that. If I'm with people, it's good to include the people. It's good to do we're here and do your family in front of something famous, and but also look smaller, look at some details. Just capturing the essence, and know that most of your photographs are just going to be meh. Even the really good photographers do a lot of meh photographs because it takes a lot of skill, and you have to be there at the right moment and the right clouds and the right everything, and you just might not pull it off. There's a lot of luck to it. But yeah, absolutely take the photographs because they'll help jog your memory. And then when you get home, so this is the digital era, be ruthless about editing them and deleting them. Don't keep every single photo. This drive is pretty, but a lot of this is just same old, same old. A lot of these pictures, a lot of this, if I was just taking pictures, I wouldn't have saved most of these scenes you're seeing here. They're just nothing that special. So yeah, be ruthless when you get home. Keep a few good memories because you'll go back to look at them. And if you have just a few photos, you can show them to your friends. Have you ever been trapped looking at photo after photo that you're somebody took of wherever they went or their family or whatever, and your eyes are starting to cross because it's so boring. You don't want to be that person. So yeah, I feel like I missed something there. Like a whole clip of video. Do you have that feeling? Anyway, this is the house I was looking for on the map, so yeah. Well, whatever it was, we missed about 4 minutes of it, so odd. I don't know, have a clue what happened there. Alright, so anyway, back on the topic. So photos, edit, be ruthless. Take a lot, though. But don't take so many that you're so caught up in taking pictures that you forget to experience it. That's a mistake I have made and I've seen people make. And if you take too many pictures, it takes too much time and then you miss out on things too. So, I'm sure I'm sitting here for a reason. Oh, there's why. See, I can't see what I'm seeing as a driver. And it's been too long, so I don't remember. But anyway, if you spend too long photographing, you'll miss the experience. And, the experience is just going to get sweeter with time. So a few mementos to remember it. And then you're going into it and you look at something like this, and you think, wow, that's pretty grand. And you stop and take a picture. Well, just wait, there's more to come. Which, that's another thing with photos. If you can, maybe scout it out if it's a scenic area first. Maybe scout it out during the miserable part of the day when it's... okay, I say miserable. The part of the day when everybody's out and about doing stuff, which is the middle of the day, it's miserable for photographs because it's terrible lighting. Then you can go out in the early morning or in the evening and take your good photos. Now, you won't get your family snapshots then, but that's when you can get your good landscape pictures. And, bonus, the wildlife are active then. So, this was a terrible time for taking photos. I mean, what time would this be? This would be 3:30, so the shadows are starting to get longer, but it's not afternoon. Or whatever. It's not sunset or that golden hour anyway. So, so anyway, let's end the photography thing. Oh, actually, one more thing with the photography, since I brought it up. If you're walking, you really, really, really don't want to get saddled with a big camera bag and all your lenses. Think that through. Now, it could be your goal is to take this absolutely that's not a word, spectacular, there we go, spectacular photo of something. Okay, take your camera and your lens. But, do you really want to get saddled with your camera, your lenses, your tripod, all the gear, your spare battery? Probably not. So, just think that through. Because maybe what you would rather do is take your camera with a good 50mm lens and call it good. Or if you have a point and shoot, it's outdoors, you're probably going to be able to get pretty decent pictures in daylight. So think about that with your camera if you're traveling. Now, of course, I could leave my lenses in the car. Now, fun fact, I have a door on the car which no longer locks. It is a 16-year-old... No, now it's a 17-year-old car because the year has just changed. It's a 17-year-old car after all. So, if I leave the car somewhere and I have objects like that, I usually hide them in the trunk. Because people don't look in a car like mine looking for expensive things to steal. They might look, as they walk by just to see if there is anything by chance. But they're not going to say, you know what? I bet he's got the good stuff in the trunk. Because you're probably not going to think that when you see my car. So, anyway, don't saddle yourself with a lot of camera gear. You'll be sorry. Just a camera and a lens that's on it. If you know you're going to need telephoto, maybe bring that. If you know you might need the wide angle, bring that. But don't bring all your lenses. And I would only bring other lenses if you know you're going to need them. Most cameras you can crop an image if it's too wide. So, yeah, that's my advice on photography. Take lots of pictures, but don't lose the experience. Edit ruthlessly. Scout your pictures if you can, so you can spend the middle of your day just having fun and exploring and doing your photography in the evening and in the morning. There we go. Another thing worth thinking about is peak time. There are times of the year, times of the day when things are more likely to be busy. And it depends totally on what they are. A bar, for example, a famous bar might be more likely to be busy in the evening. Mount Rushmore, actually they have hours, which kind of limits it. But Mount Rushmore in general is busy in the summer. I've gone there in the winter, and you've got the place to yourself, basically. This was pretty not peak travel because this was in October, but pretty busy because it was a really bright sunny fall day. You know what I've found out? Black Hills are a lot of fun to visit in the rain. Now, yeah, that limits your hiking unless you like hiking in the rain, which I do not. I like rain. I like being out in it, but hiking in the rain, that's a way to get wet. Excuse me. Anyway, so, but, imagine this drive in the rain. Still, you might not be able to see as far away, but you might get a unique view of this whole thing. And a view that other people have not had. Most of the pictures I see of Needles Highway and Iron Mountain Highway and Mount Rushmore not taken in the rain or the snow. No, admittedly, you're not going to be touring this in the snow, and I think you can see why. But in the rain, why not? I think that sounds fun. So, and like I said, the Black Hills look good in the rain. Also, your photography time is expanded because you don't have that bright glaring light. Now, you don't get quite the shadows, but it's easier to pick out things and take photographs of them, too, in the rain. So, not driving rain, but gentle spring rains. So maybe look at what are not the peak times. I like to if I go down here, one of my favorite times is right when school ends. School for me ends right around Memorial Day, sometimes a few days before, sometimes right after. Memorial Day weekend is a horrible time to visit, but, visiting around that time, not on the weekend, during the week, that's a great option. In fact, for me as a teacher, summer is a good luxury because everything's busier on the weekend. So if I go somewhere, it's usually during the week. And I stay home on the weekends. Now, during the school year, I don't have that option, but, well, like this Christmas break, it's not like I got anywhere anyway. Oh, that sounded a little bitter. So, if you can, avoid the peak times. There's often things to enjoy. Also, you're more likely to strike up a conversation with the locals, and the businesses and such will be more willing to spend time with you and socialize a little, and they won't be overwhelmed by tourists. I used to work in a restaurant. I know all about that. And you're not going to be competing for space when you're off those peak times. If you want to take that photograph of that view or that waterfall, you saw the crowd around Bridal Veil Falls in my Spearfish Canyon video. I've never taken a photograph this time of year of Bridal Veil Falls because there's always so much traffic. I like to go like in the spring while there's still snow on the ground. That's a neat time. Now that I have this dash cam, I'm more willing to get out and explore, too. It's kind of encouraging me to get out, so, but anyway, so don't go at peak times, and, get away from, like I said, get away from the big popular things. You'll be fine. And some of the big popular things are worth seeing. Mount Rushmore is worth seeing. It's just no fun when there's big crowds around it. It is built for a lot of people, but Yeah, you'll have a lot more fun if you aren't fighting with them all. Oops. Just trying to stop this here. Okay, I had to refill my coffee. Another thing I would suggest is research before you go. I'd looked at maps and things of this. I having that research is what enabled me to figure out that, oh yeah, I just went at it backwards. Oh, don't go. If you go into it blind, yeah, you might stumble onto something for fun, but it's more likely you'll just miss everything important and spend your whole time trying to figure it out. So yeah, research, and there's a lot of resources for researching now. You can go on the internet. There's YouTube videos of places. I knew about this 8-foot, 4-inch wide tunnel that's up here a long ways yet. We haven't gone through it yet. Because of my research on YouTube. There's even there's neat videos of buses trying to go through it, which gave me a totally new appreciation when I actually saw the thing. A total wrinkle to it. I never would have even considered taking this trip. It also makes me wonder why some people take their RVs up this road, but that's another story. So, yeah, do some research ahead of time. Make a rough plan. That's how making the plan is how I knew. Okay, you have time to hike one hike, and it can't be a super long one. That's how I knew. I planned it all out. Now, if I wouldn't have had a plan, I would have stopped and gawked at a whole bunch more things, and I never would have finished this in the daylight. So, yeah, always go into these things with a lot of research and a plan. It's all fun and games being spontaneous, but it's a lot easier to be spontaneous when you've planned and laid the groundwork first. I didn't plan exactly where I was going to stop along Needles Highway and take pictures, but it happened. I should have I wish I would have planned better because, like I said, I totally missed the actual needle, but, there's an example of why I need to do my research and write it down. And you may discover something is really, really worth more time. If you have that plan, you know it. Going down to the waterfalls is definitely worth it. I wish now that I had planned somewhere to eat, because that gas station sandwich is really gross, but yeah. This is a lot steeper than it looks. That's an artifact of the camera, by the way. But anyway, so do your research. And of course, always be considerate. You're sharing this place. I talk about how I'm self-conscious talking to my iPad. Part of that also is just knowing that I'm sharing a location with people. Do you get annoyed with these people that talk loudly? And they're like right beside each other, and you're like, dude, they're right there. You don't have to yell at them. I get tired of that, and I don't want to be that person. So if you have me up really loud so I'm bothering other people right now, please turn me down. And if you're hearing me right now and you don't want to be, please tell the person listening to me to turn me down. Because, we just want to be considerate of others. Remember, you're not alone. Even if you are alone, there is nothing wrong with just enjoying the moment, and of course not leaving traces. I don't like seeing people leave trash or graffiti or golly, I gotta carve my name into this tree as evidence that I was here. Dude, take a picture. There's a place in Montana I want to take you. Thought about doing it over this break actually, but thanks, snow, because I think it'll be actually really cool to visit in the snow. But everything is carved up. It looks really neat from a distance. Then you get close to it and you're just like, eh. And anyway, Medicine Rock State Park, I'll just tell you what it is. We'll get there one of these days. There's a vehicle I would not enjoy driving on this road. I'm glad I'm in a little Toyota Camry, even if it is elderly. This is an absolutely spectacular place to pull off take pictures, and wander around at. I'm just telling you, this is probably, I don't know if I could have done better. I took photographs over in the distance there. You can actually see the prairie. It is amazing. Okay, before I get out of the car, just give you a quick look out the windshield. Ooh, sheer drop. So I'm getting out. I'm going to take some pictures with the camera. I do have fellow travelers, so I'll be quiet. As I recall, the next spot you can see the prairie a little bit better, and I did try photographing it. Next time I'm in a car, remember, I might try bringing a tripod and actually work out the exposure a little better. Perhaps do a HDR, because that's kind of the situation it's designed for. I don't know. I have to decide. I don't know if that's... I have the feeling that can't be my shadow. No, it's not. Okay. I was just thinking, why is this car sitting here? It must have been somebody behind me and I was waiting to pull out. But anyway, yeah, when you go places, they always say, take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. That's about right. Just enjoy it. You don't have to take a rock from here just to prove you've been here. You don't have to carve your name into a tree or a rock or, something stupid like that. Just take a picture, enjoy the moment. We always, some people always have this feel of, how I need to leave a sign that I was here. Well, no, you don't. Nobody cares except you. Here you can see some of the needles, the granite needles I was talking about to give this highway its name off there in the distance. There weren't as many of them as I expected, but I'll tell you what, it didn't matter. This whole journey was totally worth it. Let's see what else. So yeah, be considerate of other people, even if there are no other people around right then. What I've always heard about Mount Everest is that's gotten to be so well traveled that they actually have pollution problems up there. I mean, Mount Everest? Hello. So just think about that. Be considerate. I don't remember if I stopped here or not. Apparently not. Okay, we're just going to keep going. They do have some nice scenic overlooks, and that's another thing about being considerate. Yeah, if you just stop in the middle of the road to take a picture, I said I'm a little slow, but I won't stop in the middle of the road to take a picture. That's interfering with other people. The speed thing, how fast am I supposed to go? I want to be safe too. And, that's just a value thing. And every so often I would pull off of these scenic overlooks anyway. So, yeah. I had something else in mind about this. Food and drink, was that it? Well, anyway. Yeah, with this tour I brought along, I think I had a bottle of water with me, and I had my coffee. But by this time of the day, the coffee was probably gone. I carry a thermos now when I drive. Then I'm not stopping at gas stations and picking up coffee. Saves me a little cash. If I bring water in a bottle from home, that saves some cash, because bottled water is actually really expensive, so why not just bring it from home? And when you're there, explore, well, anyway, yeah, this is not a travel log, so what am I doing? Okay, the truth is, what I'm doing is I'm killing a little bit of time, because I know right up here, there's another pull-off and another iPad scan around. I didn't want to get launched into a big in-depth topic, and, yeah, that's why I'm doing all these little tiny topics. So, one other thing about the research, there's a lot of different things to research. The history is one, the geology, the nature, the science of an area is another. Knowing that these are granite, having an idea how they formed, that gives you a different appreciation of it than, well, that's pretty. Knowing a little bit about the trees, knowing about that Rocky Mountain? No. Anyway, that pine beetle thing. That gave me an appreciation, even if it is a little depressing. Let's see. I think after I do this pull-off up here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about sharing, because there is another side to the sharing I didn't get to, and probably would have filled this time very well. But anyway, I'm going to pull off again. This one was a smaller pull-off area. I actually liked this one better, and when I said you could see the prairie, I was thinking of this one. I know my photographs didn't capture it, so that's why I didn't include any of them here. But yeah. Okay, with that as a backdrop, here I am. And I'm alone at this spot. It's a very small parking spot. But just look what's behind me. Isn't that incredible? Somebody's got music. Okay, with that as a backdrop, here I am. And I'm alone at this spot. It's a very small parking spot. But just look what's behind me. Isn't that incredible? And I think you just saw me illustrate part of what I was talking about there. You are sharing. Motorcycles make noise, and I have to accept that, yeah, there's going to be road noise and other stuff in a place like this. That's just part of it. There's other people. They will be talking. I do take exception to these people that feel like you need to share their music. And of course, on a motorcycle, you have to turn up the music pretty loud to be able to hear it. And yeah, did I have music going in the car? Absolutely. That's why you don't hear any road noise. I turned off the microphone on my dash cam because all you get is, it's copyrighted music, and of course I can't play it anyway on here. I'd get in trouble. So, but, I keep it down. It's something in the car. I know that's probably for similar reasons that they're running it in the camera, in the motorcycle, but, they were sharing it with me. A little bit of consideration of other people. And, another piece is, you want to take a picture, so somebody goes in front of you to take the picture, So yeah, now I can't take the picture. I once saw a video, well, it was recently actually, some 1800s power station was being torn down. So it's like this once in a lifetime opportunity to video the event. So this guy got out there early, set up his camera and his tripod and everything so he could capture it perfectly. And as he's filming it, some guy walks in front of him with his iPad or his iPhone, filming the whole thing, and that becomes like the video, and yeah, the whole record of this thing getting torn down is gone forever. No consideration there. So if you see somebody taking a picture, don't walk in front of them. But if you're taking the picture, don't spend forever and hog the place. Realize that other people want to take pictures too. So, the consideration goes both ways. I'll tell you one thing I hate, and this isn't just at scenic spots, this is anywhere, these people that decide to have a conversation in a doorway. Move over to the wall or something. Do you have to stand in the doorway having this conversation? No. I hate that. Or they stop in the middle of the sidewalk and just start talking. And it's just like, I'm walking here. And everybody has to go around you for your little conversation. And you say, excuse me, because you're trying to get through the doorway, and they look at you like you're rude. And it's just like, doorway! Bottleneck! So, don't like that. So, just always consider other people. Whether it's with your noise, your where you stand, your photography, take turns. Just be considerate. It doesn't mean be a doormat, let everybody walk all over you, but, you do need to be considerate. And it goes both ways, like I said. I hate it when I'm trying to take a picture and you get somebody who wants to jump into it and mug and make faces and stuff. It's like, go away, loser, I don't care about you. You don't see too many of those because I usually delete them. I did take some pictures here. I forgot about this spot. This is not the best lighting for pictures, to be honest. Perhaps the lighting is why there weren't many people at this overlook. I think it would be impressive at a different time of the day. Morning. So, I've got to do this trip again. I don't care. It's got to be done. Must have been yep, there's somebody coming. That's what's going on. This is kind of uncomfortable when I can't tell what's going on except for this narrow dash cam view. Anyway, just you always want to be considerate of other people, and don't forget you're not the only one there. And another thing, if you travel with somebody, wouldn't it be nice to travel with somebody who's fun? I mean, are there people that you're just like, oh no, I don't want to talk to them because I was in a good mood, but now I won't be. You know those people. I know them. And maybe I'm sounding like one on this because I'm very lecturing, but if you're listening to this, you know that's what I'm going to be. But anyway, okay, sorry, I will come back to that topic. Here we go. No, we don't. Never mind. Sorry, false alarm. We're coming really close to the really famous tunnel, but this isn't it. Anyway, if you're traveling with somebody, don't be that guy. Be the fun one. Now, I'm not like Mr. Excitement at all. I'm actually kind of a boring person. I'm also kind of introverted. I find it a lot easier to talk like this on a camera than I would if you were sitting beside me in the car. And this is the tunnel, so I will finish that thought. This tunnel is 8 feet 4 inches wide. As I drive through it, just imagine driving a tour bus through it. They do. There is video footage on YouTube. I would suggest Needles Highway Bus is something to Google on YouTube. Anyway, something to watch on YouTube. It doesn't matter which one you watch. There's several really cool ones. They take these tour buses with 2 inches of clearance on either side through this tunnel. And there's video of it, and it's just kind of amazing that these drivers do this as a daily thing. I wouldn't recommend this, but there are also people that surf the buses. And when I say surf, I mean that as the bus goes through on the other side, which you can't see because I went the wrong way, they will jump across this gap but land on the bus halfway through. Now that sounds dangerous to me, so I'll never do it, but when I was younger I might have tried it. Anyway, right about here, they'll do it. So very cool. And by the way, this is also where the famous needle is, and all my planning, I totally forgot it was right there. Did it occur to me, why are all these cars here? No. So, next time. And it was also, the ranger told me, the perfect time to photograph it. And I thought of it once I got home and looked at this footage. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good I would be going through at the right time to photograph it with the sun in it. Well, guess not. Now, it is all downhill from here, literally. I don't mean as far... excuse me. I don't mean as far as the scenery. I mean, literally, it's all downhill from there. But anyway, if you are traveling with somebody, be considerate. They have things they want to see, you have things you want to see, you want to balance it. You don't want to complain a lot, you want to be positive, you want to enjoy yourself. Now, like I said, I'm not Mr. Excitement. You don't have to be the life of the party. Sometimes, especially if you're traveling with me, those kind of people are exhausting after not too long. Be somebody pleasant to be around, and especially when you're doing something like fun like this, that's not the time to complain. There's nothing wrong with some silence either, because I don't know about you, but I like to process, and if I'm stuck with somebody that chatters constantly, I can't process, and I start to get annoyed, especially if they're just bringing up really inane things that they don't really need to say, and you're just like, oh gosh, just don't say anything if you have nothing to say. And I know that a lot of this video is that, but like I said, that's a little bit different because it's a video. In real life, I have no problem with some silence in the car. I don't even have to have the radio on. And that's another thing, if I'm traveling with people, I usually turn the radio off, because if the radio's on, I'm going to really, really struggle to converse with you. Because I don't know, there's something about my hearing, I just have trouble picking the sounds apart. And I miss half of your conversation. So if I turn the radio on and I'm driving with you, guess what? It's either because I'm worried about weather and I'm looking for a weather report, or it's because you're so annoying I just can't take it anymore, and I want something else. Now you know my secret, right? That looks like a ranger station sign. Maybe that's where you pay for your ticket if you come in at the other direction. I'm not sure. That almost looked like a house. I'm pretty sure, though, since this is still in the park, if it's a house for a ranger and their family. So, anyway, be a good travel companion, be considerate. The same thing goes with visiting places. It's just part of the whole experience. This here, I believe, on this corner, because I can't tell where I'm at when I watch. Oh, yeah, it has to be. Look, there's a boat on top of that. Sylvan Lake is out here. I want to go back and explore Sylvan Lake. So when I say, take time to explore things, Sylvan Lake is one of the things to explore. There's an easy hike around it, and I guess there's a much more that has to be the ranger station, because that was a stop sign. What was I saying? Oh, so with Sylvan Lake, that's one of those things I want to go back and explore. Just so much here. Alright, so I'm going to close this video here, and we'll pick it up next time from this corner. I consider us off Needles Highway now. I don't consider this route done, because there is some very nice stuff coming yet in the next few videos. Some of it you've seen before, some of it you have not. We are not done with tunnels, we are not done with tight turns, we are not done with impressive landscapes. This tour is far from over. So, until then, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.